In May of 2017, I was sick every single day to the point where I could not get out of my bed. I've had a lot of tests and procedures and scans done. I've seen numerous doctors already. Nobody can really tell me what's going on. I had an MRI in June of 2017 that showed I had numerous clots in my liver. And that is a disease called budd-chiari syndrome. And literally 24 hours later, on July 12th, is when the doctor called and said, "So, your situation is completely different. This is no longer a liver issue, it's a blood issue." I then learned that I had two different rare blood diseases, one called paroxysmal nocturnal hemoglobinuria, and I also have polycythemia vera. And here I am in a doctor's office, we're sitting there, and we're trying to figure out what's wrong, thinking it's just, okay, let's take some medicine, we'll get over it and move on with our lives like normal stuff. And you're sitting here telling me I have clots in my liver, I need a transplant, which is a huge life-altering process. And we were actually, that May, right when I started getting sick, really sick, we're actually gonna start trying to have a family. You get hit in the face with all this stuff. And I remember the doctor said, "Okay, so you need to hold off on the baby thing for at least 2 years. Let's figure out what's going on with this transplant stuff." And I lost it in the exam room.
I knew it was severe. I knew it was rare.
Yeah.
I just didn't know, what all it entailed. And so I knew immediately that I would be there for it no matter what.
And going through all this medical craziness, he has been such a constant for me. You really have. And he's my caretaker. We're in our 30s and he's a caretaker. A liver transplant is necessary at this point. I trust the doctors, and I know that my God is a healer, but this may just be how he's healing. I'm not going to sit there and try to explain how God's doing things. I know that he's in control. Nobody ever wants to go through a liver transplant, but it's such a blessing in disguise. And what I've come to learn is, my life is not my own. When I told the Lord that I was his and I want his will for my life and not my will, that's a big prayer that you need to make sure that you can get behind if you say that, because God's way is never, ever your way. It's always better, but you may not see that right at first.